and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Man in Our Hour. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's Raw and all the fallout from Crown Jewel.
It was all right, wasn't it? Like, you say fallout from Crown Jewel. The character I was kind of most interested to see what his next move was. Didn't really get any further direction. They're kind of saving that. They may be sitting on that. I'm patient. I'm trusting the process again, so I think things will be fine. So the thing I was most excited about, I didn't really get. But the fact that on yesterday's preview, when there wasn't much to go over, and we said, well, they'll probably just announce War Games, or at least a version of the match with the key sort of wrestlers in it. I only realised this morning just how little time there was before Survivor Series. Yeah. So it's kind of a good job they did. The pay-per-view cycle fools you into thinking, oh, well, it's going to be a month, 5 weeks, whatever. It's what, like 2 Saturdays time? So to have that match now...
No, Full Gear's 2 Saturdays.
So 3 Saturdays now. That's not a lot of time between the War Games announcement and the War Games match. And to kind of circle back around and not as another excuse to plug our tremendous AEW deep dive that we've done recently, this feels, at long last, like, as somebody that's into WWE, quite a satisfying potential end to this story. And for those that are getting more than a bit pissed off with the Babyfaces versus Judgment Day thing happening every week, a grand finale to it all. So there was a sense that this big thing that for some people has gone on way too long is actually coming to an end, and in like incredibly hot fashion as well. The last 5 minutes were just electric in that building. I wished I was there.
It has been a bit of a cheat code for Triple H on Raw, hasn't it? Of just not sure how to end the show, just hoy all 8 of them out there, and now it's leading to War Games. So I suppose it has had a purpose.
Yeah, it's all very syndication, isn't it? It feels syndicated, this live original content. This Raw was a Raw for me. Didn't really have us doing cartwheels. Kind of averaged out because something I always look forward to, thought was really just not good, just there. In a match where I thought, this should be all right. It was actually really, really strong. So, but which one was which?
Let's get into it.
Mixed Bag Monday.
The show opened with Seth Rollins coming out.
That is a song, and everyone sings it.
That's it, yep.
He comes out in his big canary yellow jacket.
Yeah. How much does he spend on all of this?
Ooh.
It's working for him.
Yeah.
He looked like an Among Us character with the sunglasses on, didn't he?
It's important. I remember like Dalinsha, when she was doing it as well as Big Time Bex, it was sort of important that both of them wore something once and then never again. And I do get that, because if you start recycling your expensive clothes, it does away with the gimmick, doesn't it?
It does away with the fact that you've made it.
Yeah.
Like the charity shop just getting it.
I was just thinking about that. The charity shop that gets their stuff must be unreal.
To be honest, though, maybe it's a sound shrewd investment, because they are obviously paying through the nose. At least Seth still is. He is paying through the nose because, the independent contractors buy their own attire and have it made for them. Like, I'd like to think that half of it will, when he discovers a new character or retires or whatever, half of it charity auction. Yeah. Then the other half a private auction where he can bilk them marks.
Indeed.
Well, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Can he expense it? When I used to be an independent contractor on the radio, you could just claim that you were buying. I'd always buy my clothes.
Hang on, that's not admit to fraud.
I think the statute of limitations passed.
You want to hope so. It's not us saying anything. These views do not reflect those of the Dadley Boyz, but apparently one of them.
I always used to buy my clothes around the time of year where we had our live shows, and I was like, I'd need it for my wardrobe. I already knew exactly. I was probably wearing the same shirt I wore for every single
event.
You're in
radio?
No, we were doing backstage video interviews
and what have you. You turning up to like an evening shift in a Seth Rollins yellow jacket. All right, guys? One security guard. Oh, he's here again. For God's sake.
Play my song.
This fair looks a bit like a clown in Ralph Lauren. So.
Rollins comes out anyway. He says, retained his world title.
Finally bought a nice jumper.
I do love that jumper, to be fair.
It's a lovely jumper, isn't it?
I fear wearing white jumpers.
Oh, I'm terrified now.
Just saying, I would put spill food on it.
Yeah.
Rollins, anyway, says he retained his world title at Crown Jewel. He wants to thank two people. He thanks Drew. Drew took him to the limit. They beat the hell out of each other. But he was a man of his word. He's not with the Judgment Day, and they didn't get involved in their match. And he also wants to thank Sami Zayn for preventing Damian Priest, of course, from cashing in. This brings out Sami Zayn to a huge reaction. And he's like, oh, so you don't have the briefcase. I assume first thing that happened when you got here, Postman Pierce took it off you. And Zayn was like, yeah. And Rollins like, well, I probably could have handled it.
Was that dig at the other side?
I don't know.
No, because it was to lead to what happened later.
Yeah.
Because Sammy was like, how do you know that? And then he was like, well, the reason why I knew that is because I was waiting to go into the office afterwards.
There was that little bit of, Judgment Day Palace intrigue with the baby faces. But it did... There was something to that. It was just weird, wasn't it? You imagine Sami Zayn coming out and it's like, well, can't get it back, Damien. That's what like WWE baby faces traditionally do. And this yeah, and this went in a... Maybe it was just that. Maybe it was just them not wanting to do that anymore because, it's a hideous personality trait and it should be long gone.
Rollins is like, I probably could have handled Damian Priest, but thanks anyway. And I was thinking of a way to repay you. And Zayn's like, well, before that, I didn't do it for that reason. I stepped in because I've been dealing with this bloody Judgment Day lot for months. They've all got the titles except yours, Seth. And if Damian Priest cashed in and won that, we'd basically be dealing with Bloodline 2.0.
Oh my God.
What's wrong with that? But he says, as long as there's a breath of air in my body, I'll fight them and make sure they do not run Raw. Seth says, thanks. This is what I like. This is what I love about you. You stand up for what's right. The odds don't matter. I dig the conviction, man. Here's the thing. Sometimes people like you don't get what they deserve. The Judgment Day don't run Raw. I run Raw. And as long as I'm champion, that briefcase isn't the only way to get a shot at this title. The reason why I knew Postman Pierce took that briefcase off you as soon as you got there is because I was waiting outside the office. I went straight in, and I want to give you a title shot. All you got to do, Sammy, is say when. And Sammy's kind of taken off guard by all this. He's shocked. He says, look, I learned the hard way how hard it is to get a title shot. If I win the title, no, scratch that. When I win the title, because one day I will. I want to be a champion, though, that is not compromised. No disrespect to you, Seth, but we all know you're not at 100%. And Seth takes off his Among Us sunglasses and says, cut the crap. Are you 100%? We go back a long way, you and I. We've been doing this for decades, and guys like us are never 100%. Doesn't stop us from giving 100%.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine Dax in the Rollins gear. I ain't know much about high fashion.
I ain't no fashionista.
I ain't no fashion plate. Not like classy Freddie Blassie. Ever heard of him? Read a book.
Give me notes. Otherwise, you don't respect the business.
That ain't him. That's Captain Luke. Can you tell a difference? Used to be the business.
He says, look, Sammy, there's a title shot with your name in it. Just say when. And Sammy's like, well, okay. Can't think of a better place or time than right here, right now.
Fans are going ballistic at this point.
They shake on it. Great opening to the show.
Yeah. I
love an impromptu match.
I didn't think I wanted this to be hot shotted, but I'm fickle, and then the shot was hot. So it worked out great in the end.
I'll tell you what, the fans were. Sami Zayn did an incredible job of conducting them.
Yeah.
It was very obvious what was coming, but he paused at the right times. He made them want it. They were like throwing babies in the air. It
is really funny when you're in an arena and they're like, and that's why Michael Sidgwick, I'm going to fight you next week in a completely different town.
I think part of it was, this is kind of how I felt, so maybe it was the case in the building. I loved both characters here, genuinely. Like Seth Rollins, my big issue with Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, of late, my big issue with Seth Rollins is...
Loved him.
Finally figured out...
I reserve that word for my children.
Finally figured out what got him over in a completely different way to anything that had worked in the past, and then started walking back from it. And funnily enough, talking about his children and like being a normal guy. It's like, I don't want normal Seth. Even you don't seem to want normal Seth. You want
that in NXT?
Yeah.
2019.
Normal Seth at a normal party with normal drink.
Stream, yeah. Normal Seth.
I don't want the Seth Rollins that, he's so mad he's going to beat up Eric Young with a chair. Like, I want...
Stone Cold-esque, some might say.
I want Timmy Mallet Seth.
Yes.
Right? That's what I want. And he's struggled for me to juggle that with the serious stuff he's been doing Nakamura, and to a lesser extent with Drew. And I just think he got it here. I quite like the... I know it all looks like fun and games, but I can't don't patronise me about the back injury. I can't take this seriously while being myself, while being this ostentatious figure. Sami Zayn, meanwhile, again, to go back to maybe not doing, I've got your briefcase, proper babyface values, like wanting a shot, as he has done for weeks, and kind of calling his shot, but not forcing it through. And then kind of, I don't think he played chicken with Seth. I think Seth offered the shot. Someone was like, all right, let's do it. This is the way for me you book an all babyface match. And again, I was like, I think I wanted to save this. I wanted to anticipate him more. And I was just banging into the match at the end. So, like, as a review now, I'm happy with it. Initially, I was thinking I would have saved it. I don't feel that way now.
I really like the idea. There's a good version and a bad version of everything. It really does not extend to impromptu matches, right? But if you're going to do an impromptu match, right, I think doing an all babyface match on this episode of Raw, when it's like the culmination of the Judgment Day's run, like the idea of, this could be a sporting sort of enterprise. There could be a real sporting principle to Monday Night Raw. We're going to show you that it can happen like this. But the Judgment Day are being the Judgment Day again. I can understand why this of all nights, with this match and the way it went, was the night that Pierce finally blew his top. Very conveniently, we are a few weeks away from Survivor Series, but I did like the contrast between this sort of ROH adjacent sort of let's just have a babyface match for the title. This is the way it should go.
Back.
Yeah, and then the Judgment Day. It's like, well, they need to go because it could be this.
I also like the show long hook of like, wow, we're getting a world title match. That's awesome. We know Seth's kind of injured, and there's the specter of. I was like, for a split second, I thought, are they going to switch the title onto Sami only to have Damian Priest immediately cash in on him? So I thought, as in terms of a TV stick-around device, I couldn't have asked for much more.
I'll be honest, I didn't think about that, but I like that Priest had the briefcase long enough, Seth had this belt long enough, that again, kind of with the Drew match, these just weren't stakes when that belt was launched, and they've sort of forced, by like force of willpower, really, they've kind of got this one over the line a little bit. Just on Seth's promo as well, I really like the Drew detail. Seth Rollins, the world champion, like ostensibly top babyface. It's Cody, but it's kind of also Seth. Him kind of giving the nod to Drew McIntyre. Like, fair's fair. Give me a great fight. All is good. Me as the locker room leader is telling you that you were back accepted. There's no problems, Drew, and everything's going to be fine. That's great, because a babyface endorsement only strengthens the turn when it eventually comes, and however that's going to play out.
Yeah, I should have mentioned what Drew did on this show. Yeah. It was incredibly brief. It was after the tag match we're about to talk about. Drew McIntyre pulls up. Jackie's right on the scene. She goes, all right, what's next for you? You know, you lost the world title match, so what's next? And he went, I'm not doing this. He just got back in his car and pissed it off.
Again, I wanted more, but like the
Petty
intrigue.
baby Drew's great.
Yeah, the intrigue remains, doesn't it?
Right, after the big announcement of the handshake, the great reaction, as Sid said, the Judgment Day are backstage. There's Dominic Mysterio, there's JD McDonough, there's Rhea Ripley, and there's Finn Balor. There isn't a Damian Priest, but if there was, and he arrives later on, of course, collectively,
they're in the fucking Judgment Day. Yeah.
So Dom is...
never want this era to go away. No. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I kind of do. I'm bored of Raw.
I don't know what I'm going to do when the game Triple H stops cooking. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Dom is loving the fact that his deadbeat dad's lost the title to Logan Paul, of all people, as well. And Mammy's retained the title. And Priest comes in. He's got his briefcase. He's fizzing. He's had to do all this nonsense to get it back from Postman Pierce. And the bloke who stole it just given a title shot. JD McDonald's like, calm down. And Damian Priest looks at him like, what did you just say to me? And then he's like, where'd you get that T-shirt from? I love that as a little like you better not have just claimed that as part of the Judgment Day. You better paid full price for it.
Did you see Dominic just like covering? He was wearing a Damian Priest like Senior Money in the Bank, and he was like, I just sort of like backed off. It felt like an improv. Is he getting it? Is he getting it? Just a bit.
He's getting character work.
Yeah.
And he says to Finn Balor, kick out New Day's ass tonight.
Cool.
Just
it was funny.
Yeah.
Not like,
I know they've been doing this dissension sometimes with the Judgment Day. Can they not be a completely united force for the baby faces to just conquer at War Games? Cannot be. I want to be a little bit more old fashioned like that. Like,
felt it in the closing brawl, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Do you think they'll add any more people?
I think so, yeah.
Just imagine the Horsemen pissing about
No.
in 1987 and like just worrying that I don't know if you're fully committed to the Four Horsemen. They were just mates. They were just class wrestlers who liked being dickheads and just loved being dickheads together. Can they not just do that for a bit?
They're pissed about
any stable in wrestling. I'm begging you. Just make me feel like you are happy to spend time with each other. You're just a stable and you kick ass and beat up the heels.
Sting, Barry Windham. Whole point of them was, are they in or are they out? And that was like the Horsemen in the peak years. Like there was still that infighting even then. That Stinger.
It's like peak.
Yeah. All right, well, it didn't include J.J. Dillon. But like otherwise, they were pretty much peak. Like Barry Windham and Sting both got enormous babyface runs off, kind of challenging Flair's authority.
I guess, but that's not peak for me.
See, Sting's having he might as well retire after this week. Have you seen his match that he's got?
Doing double duty, isn't he?
Working the outrunners.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's going to go a minute.
I'll save
Calm
it,
down,
but I have words we're going to say about
Not
that.
the biggest age gap match in wrestling history.
Possibly, yes. Sting versus the youngest man alive. Maybe.
And the reason for the tag match that we're about to get is, of course, New Day dressed as Judgment Day for Halloween.
Good.
All that got as a justification.
Like Me Too, legit.
And then the funny briefcase thing the other week.
Yeah.
Like a lunchbox or whatever. So, yeah, it was Kofi and Xavier versus Finn and Damian. New Day actually doing pretty well for themselves early on. They're in control. Woods hit Balor with a missile drop kick. Kingston got the hot tag. He hit a flying crossbody on Priest. And then there's a bit of miscommunication. Priest collides with Balor by mistake after Kingston fights out of a double team. Kingston hits Balor with a superplex. And Woods does the diving elbow drop from the other corner.
Really say.
Priest breaks up the cover, sends Kingston to the announce table.
Weird.
Woods knocks Priest off the apron, and then Woods, I think, rolls Balor up, gets kicked off, and as he gets kicked into the roast, Priest nails him with a kick. He turns around into a sling blade from Balor. I did like the way they laid out the finish. Obviously, these two have been working together for a long time, but sling blade by Balor. He tags Priest in. Priest leans back to get ready for the South of Heaven chokeslam, but also at the same time, Balor slaps the hand that he's about to hit the chokeslam in to tag himself back in. South of Heaven chokeslam, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Straightforward stuff.
Love those bits because FTR never quite mastered the magic of the Powerplex because Herc and Jerk would do like a running tag as part of the finish to both men in the league at the same time. I like that. That like extra synergy that shows why you're the champs or why you're such a great team. What a gift the New Day are at WWE because they're kind of like, they've mastered being inconsequential. Basically, this like they've had a half decent run on Raw, but nothing that special. But they're at the point where you can always give them like this match or another title shot or things like that. So it's never like boring particularly, but the result was never in doubt, and it was like it was just a fine waste of time. And the New Day, but I think I mean that as a compliment. The New Day is still really fun to watch, but I don't feel any sense of peril.
Whoa, you're my favorite waste of time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I love that song. It's a good song. You know how you boys, you love your Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah.
Sure do.
You love your Judgment Day. You love your Fed. You love maybe the idea of Damian Priest in that. Ooh, when's he going to cash in?
This takes definitely anyone with a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Bad news.
What?
I could not see this coming.
You're saying that. Telegraph every single one of your bits.
How dare you?
I've got a take, an insight that is going to ruin Damian Priest for you.
Insights are not welcome on the Raw review.
I know. You know when you see something and can't unsee it?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Jinx.
Are we?
We might be mean Sidge already were over the desk this morning.
It's normally you two.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a three-way.
Damian Priest he is a very, very tall man because of, the way the modern wrestling scene is. He does a lot of back and forth. He'll even do the odd high spot or hybrid-y style sort of thing, right? But because he's a big man, it does take a lot to get him off his feet. So he doesn't bump all that much, right? When he takes like a glancing blow or a strike or just something you wouldn't bump for because he's, more of a big man than not.
Oh, no, Sidge, man. You cannot say that.
People will have to check out the YouTube version of this podcast. By the way, if you're thinking, Nicholas has been a bit lazy on his job today, he's away, so we've just got the one static camera for now.
Yeah.
So he basically, for those listening, I apologize. I've got the cameras on me. He goes, whoa!
Sidge is doing an impression of a Bailey buddy.
Yes.
With his arms at this point. Oh, great. Damian Priest is finished then. That's good. Can't wait to see that for myself.
I just noticed he was doing it rather a lot in this match.
Remember when, Power Slam would have been Power Slam for us, could be goodness knows what for, listeners and viewers of different ages, when the first time they told you, Sid's punches were terrible. Oh, God, they're right.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But he's Sid. Horrible moment, that.
Yeah. So there was a bit of that here.
Okay.
Ooh.
He's going to win the belt and he's going to do this.
Other than that, it was completely and utterly standard, generic action on Monday Night Raw.
Do you think when Triple H puts a belt on Damian Priest, he's going to ask him to start doing those incredible light switch bump and feeds moment that 2000s Triple H was amazing.
Oh, he was like a light switch, wasn't he?
As a heel champion. Imagine Triple H giving anybody anything. But as the heel champion and the confidence that he only ever had once, zero insecurity for once in his goddamn life, the bumps he took as the world champion heel were just the best at the time.
Let's just say that Triple H had good snap.
Yeah, he had unbelievable snap.
Unbelievable
One of your
snap.
nuts hanging out. Tag for real, would you, Paul?
You ever done that?
What, tagged anyone for real?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I also like that bit in that
He was
one.
the wheelman while the Click were having shoot fights.
Yeah.
When he's bullying them and he's like, why do you want to be in this? And I can't remember who it is. It might have been, is it Josh Matthews who's in there?
He was in the crew, yeah.
He's going through, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? And I'll swear someone says, I just love this. And I think they say, I love the fame, right? And he goes, you love the pain? You like getting hurt all the time? And I was like, he hasn't said that, Paul. He hasn't actually said any of that. But
he misses him. He loves the game. Good taste.
Anyway, moving on.
Not like Rock and Austin, jabronis.
It's time for Shinsuke Nakamura versus Akira Tozawa.
Skip.
Yeah, see this one coming. You won with the Kinshasa. Enough of that. It's now time for this.
It's short, it's crap, it's wrestling related. The 5-star review. Nailed it!
And this week's 5-star review, well, it should have come from Eric Vasquez because it's Eric's 35th birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Many
birthday.
happy returns.
It's my
Bon anniversaire.
It is my fault. So happy birthday, Eric. Great first
Harry
name.
birthday.
Harry birthday as well.
He's an NXT character. It's always someone's birthday. He's throwing normal parties back there. It's me, Harry birthday. Oh God, what's he doing here?
So, Eric, we'll do your review next week, I promise. But happy birthday, Eric. This week's 5-star review, though, is brought to you by Noisy Nate. If you want to suggest something short, crap, and wrestling related, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review, just like Noisy Nate has done. Or you can leave us a 5-star rating, screenshot it,
We need the proof.
and then email it to me, adam.wilborn@whatculture.com. But Noisy Nate writes, I love this pod. I listen to enjoy everything that drops on this feed. Also, congrats on the YouTube channel. It's great to see Sidgwick becoming slightly less and less self-conscious about doing the ladies' night jingle on camera. How's that go again? Okay. Hey, you have to wait for Thursday for that one.
Come on.
Now, in the name of Bret Hart and for the sake of my sanity, please, for 1 week, 1 day, one single podcast, refrain from mentioning that egocentric, hypocritical, thin-skinned crybaby who on several occasions have almost destroyed the thing that we all love. Just try it. I dare you. So no, don't speculate on who that is. I think we all know. But anyway, with all that out of the way, for a 5-star review, could we plumb the depths of Michael Hamflett's encyclopedic brain for a CM Punk segment, possibly involving some female talent? I've got you back, Wilborn.
Hang on.
Keep up the great work.
I thought CM Punk was the one we're not mentioning.
Oh!
No, I'm serious.
He said it. His words, not mine.
Who is that?
I don't know. If not Da Punker.
If not that bunker.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
He's the boss.
The boss.
Yeah, but who knows? It applies to many people within the...
Send another 5-star review and let us know. Yes. It'll help the algorithm when we're genuinely curious.
Yeah.
So,
Do the description again.
Egocentric, hypocritical, thin-skinned crybaby who has on several occasions almost destroyed the thing that we all love.
CM Punk.
Feels like that's what people incorrectly would describe CM Punk as. I don't know. Let us know.
What have you gone for?
Well, I didn't because he said, and for Wilborn, let it include some women. I didn't want to go to the depths because that would be CM Punk and Colt Cabana's Ring of Honor shoot interview. So instead I went to CM Punk and AJ Lee, of which there was a segment every other frigging week in 2012. And truthfully, none of them were that 5-star review worthy, should we say?
Probably should have realised that the one person, that the rule of on-screen chemistry, we should have realised that Punk and AJ had none. So it's like, all right, okay, they're getting married then. Because,
Aye. But I did find one, and I'm just skimming through a few. They're all backstage segments. She's the GM, or she's like in the Kane, Bryan, love triangle deal, and it's like, so they have these little chats, and then it goes back to the ring. And then right at the end of one of these little chats, which again, fairly inconsequential, Jerry Lawler pops up.
I'm sure he does.
With a match that AJ Lee is having to go and prepare for.
Put it behind the belt.
And I was like, send that to Wilborn, and I suppose I'll let you take it from
still
there.
walk around.
Yeah, so this is 2012. This is the road to Money in the Bank, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
Where he faced Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, Jerry Lawler's plugging that before we get to this segment with Punk. And he says, don't forget, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh.
How was 2012 for you, Sige?
2012 was a nice time in my personal and professional life. And I just had disposable income, few responsibilities. I could just go to like a really nice bit of Asian cuisine on a night in town, have a few beers. I just felt like, free and by my standards, a little bit easy. So I have a really kind bit of nostalgia for WWE 2012. I still realized it was finished. I still knew the format was terrible. I still hated the scripted promos. I still like going out for an alternative, but me and WWE got on just fine in 2012. Just fine.
How was your 2012?
Moved house, and my wife was heavily pregnant. And not only was WWE not that great, TNA was on its way to Pinish City as well, so tough times. Not too many. Lots of happy memories.
Yes.
Theoretically, but stressful. Stressful times.
So
Too young to be under the stress. Say that a bit louder. Wait till you're a bit older. Love everybody in my life, but wait till you're a bit older.
You weren't that young.
I was too young.
So CM Punk.
Work with some really young people now. Made me realise how young I was. Didn't see it then. Wasn't looking clear enough in the mirror.
Plenty of time for that sort of thing, haven't you?
Love everybody in my life. Dearly. What you on about?
CM Punk's definitely...
Daily or dearly?
Dearly.
So not daily?
No, I love the Fed daily. I love these segments daily. It's like, shall I watch Raw again? I think I might.
On Wednesday.
Aye.
Boot it back up. There's another one on Monday.
Hogan's killing TNA and it's days till SmackDown. I know there was NXT Redemption by then. Like, actually, forget everything I said. 2012 was good.
It was good. It was good.
The highlight of my wrestling week. Wild and young. You know, like you earnestly say NXT is the best show of your wrestling week when nobody would believe you. That was very much going on the forums and fighting for NXT Redemption. It's like you need to see, like they've got Matt Striker tied up in a closet, guys. It's
was Redemption the one with EC3 and
Fandango, Johnny Curtis and Derek Bateman? Yeah. Like, it was just the wacky...
Chicks in America.
The wacky misadventures of... No, this was the one where when they first started the season, if you win NXT Redemption, you finally get a shot on the main roster, and then twist, the show never ended. Like, they just moved to Full Sail and just gave up the format.
I remember Johnny Curtis where they were like, anyway, let's hear from one of our stars from NXT. And he was like... And that's what, I'm going to be a real star. And that's why I won't get upset about this. And he spilled some milk on the floor. And I was like, what the is this?
Dirty Curty was great, man. You know, those awful backstage lingering shots that I'm pretty sure they invented just so The Undertaker could shadow box. And JR go, the dead man's ready for action tonight. We didn't need that 10 seconds of character building, but here we are. Like, Dirty Curty would just, be sticking his finger in his ear, looking at it and, rubbing it on his chest. Johnny Curtis is ready for nothing. He's class. What a weird freak. NXT.
Is that he just discovers, painting yourself into a corner? What's that? Well, get me an easel right now. Anyway, so CM Punk's having a definitely normal conversation backstage. He just goes, yeah, okay, bye. because that's how everyone finishes up the conversations.
You ever noticed in sitcoms and the like, Americans? Sorry,
I hate this. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I hate it.
I've been to America, and they are like the nicest. All of them, but I think the general optics are, hi, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Can I get you something else on your order? And things like that. And like, hi, greetings, welcome to Walmart. And you know, like you get this.
Yeah.
I've been. They
you
do
fundamentally
this.
don't support tipping culture, but it's sort of great when you're a special guest in it.
Yeah.
That's how I've got very
Yes.
mixed feelings on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in American sitcoms and films, and then I'll see you later. It's so rude. In Britain, we go, bye, see you later. Drop. We'll have to say, end it nice.
Okay, got it.
Okay, got it, asshole. Like, hey, got it, asshole. I'm just checking the time as well, and yeah. Thanks for nothing, asshole. And that's so rude at the end of the phone call.
And that's Ross and Rachel.
So, he sat there. AJ walks in. She covers his eyes. Now he can see. And says, guess who?
Tiffany Stratton.
And he says, King Kong Bundy. And I'm like, the hands are too small. You don't sound like that, Phil. Idiot.
Forums have gone nuts for that as well, haven't they? I love Punk mentioning the legends. brought out the Think at Survivor Series. Did you see that?
I did see that. I also saw how Vince told his commentators to react. Do him! He's paused! Horrible.
They were horrible to think.
They were.
A bunch of pricks.
And you stand for these guys.
It was great as well.
Partially. Yeah.
Triple H was nice to the Think or not? Or do you think maybe he kicked the cat so he could fit in?
Oh, his balls pulled his pants down again. Or something like that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's his humour, isn't it? Yeah, the Garden will always be the Garden, but apparently when they're popping huge for Howard Finkel, Vince McMahon doesn't think that anymore.
Yeah.
What an idiot. Awful. Anyway, so AJ says, no, silly,
No.
it's me.
Just do a voice.
She says, no, silly, it's me. I also thought
All right, that does sound like it's you now. CM Punk and Adam Wilborn.
I also thought it's like peak WWE this era. When she says, no, silly, it's me. I thought she was going to say, no, silly, it's me, AJ Lee, the former Divas champion.
And your potential love interest.
What was it? Was it the Usos who did
Oh, God. I wish I hadn't took that tweet down. That's the first time I gave a toss. Getting
Did you delete?
I quote tweeted into oblivion for like a correct take by morons. I'm not going to be your bitch like my brother Jay.
That was so good.
It's not been funny, right? They are paternal twins.
Yeah.
I think they're identical, but they'll look alike.
What's a staple called, dumbass? What's the word mean?
And right, not only is it you could infer, not only have you interacted, let's just say you have not interacted, right? You can probably infer who your brother is. Also, he's your cousin. Like, what are we doing here? And I said it for emphasis, asshole, stop reaching.
It's the reaching.
Reaching.
Was it the timing? Was it like the hottest the bloodline had ever been? And people just thought, stop going for the thing I like with logic. Is that what was it like? Or was it pre all that? Was it pre Sammy when you took them down?
That was well pre-Sammy. I think this is still
like-
Thunderdome era.
2021, it went to bits. Bloodline South really goddamn sick
It
of
was
it.
terrible.
Like,
Absolutely
terrible
abysmal.
run in the middle of Roman's run.
Like my brother Jay.
So Punk's like, sir. And she says, I know things didn't really
Is
go.
that like your Riz, or is that what Punk said?
He said, so.
All right.
That's not what it is.
What's your Riz?
Hello! I know things didn't really go how you wanted to earlier, and I'm sorry, I just want to make it up to you, says AJ. So tonight, when I compete in the Divas Summertime Beach Battle Royal, I'm going to dedicate my match to you. And
I knew I'd found the right one.
Punk goes, okay, thanks. Maybe after that, though, you and I sit down and have a serious conversation about what on earth's going on between me and you. And she says, okay, I know what you're going to say, Punk. I'm not against taking things to the next level. I'm open to it, but first, I've got to win this battle royal. And Punk goes to say something else, but AJ's off to get ready.
You've glossed over that. I think maybe because you didn't understand.
Yeah, no idea.
A full penetrative sex.
Because he's sort of concerned at this point, because this was, where are we in the Punk,
Oh, boy.
AJ, Bryan saga here? Is she the special, was she the special guest ref at Money in the Bank?
Yeah,
Yes.
so she's like obviously had this relationship with Bryan that's come to an end. Bryan's blamed her for the title loss. She's then turned to Kane for romantic solace and physical support against Bryan.
Look at he
be him. He's a freak.
Punk's the only baby face in this
I
thing.
mean, she must be crazy.
I found that one as well. I kind of dig crazy chicks. It's like, I don't dig you anymore, Phil.
Yeah.
Too weird.
And then obviously Lawler's he's got to walk that tightrope right now because obviously, where does AJ Lee's intentions lie, etc., etc. So he goes, well, let's see how that goes. And he gets rock hard because he's like, oh my God, Demon Summertime Battle Royals next.
It was like, like as you've just said, the exposition is too much. It's like Lawler needed it. Oh Christ, is that? Like he just stood up and face woke up at the desk for the first time.
And
2012.
AJ actually won the Summertime Battle Royal, the Divas Summertime Battle Royal.
Yes.
Do you want to guess who she last eliminated?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Who did she last eliminate in the Divas Battle Beach Royal? Caitlyn.
Hang on.
No, dear, that's wrong.
3 guesses.
3 guesses. Do you remember this?
No, I didn't watch it, and I don't remember these. They'll meld into one. I'll go Natalia.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Near the end, her and Beth teaming up to try and
The
eliminate people.
Divas of Doom.
Eve Torres.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Damn it. Literally any stakes of competition, I get furious when I do not win.
I got a clue for the last. Once you've had your last. When you're on your last guess.
Bit of a cheating guess. Abella twin.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Think.
Are you not allowed to do that? Even if you got it right?
Just did.
Well, I would have the next guess and would have got to specify.
Yeah.
And then he would have won. Or would he have?
Oh,
That's 50-50. That's how these
Schrodinger's
things work.
Bella.
I think HB.
He didn't get a clue. I'm not getting a clue.
You're both on the last guess, so you both get.
Did I go first?
Well, it's not going to give it away. Think HBK.
You made this matter so much
There
more.
should be rules.
Think HBK
There should be rules.
winning the Rumble. That's all I'm saying.
What did he say?
Think HBK winning the Rumble.
So you...
Skin the cat. And you thought this person had won. That's every battle royale ever. What the mechanic
See?
includes that? Dickhead. I'm going to go with... You've hindered me, if anything.
Skinning the cat, I would have said Natalia. But I've guessed it. So.
British. Bulldog. Layla.
No, dear, that's
Wasn't
wrong.
there? Good guess, though.
Great British, wasn't
She
she?
was the champion. I think she was penultimate elimination.
All right.
Tamina wasn't in there as well. Wasn't Tamina, obviously.
Sean skinned the cat in 95. 95-year-old Mae Young.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Sound guesses, I thought.
Correct answer was Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, yeah. I
What's
should
that
have
got to do with Shawn Michaels in the
Well-
Royal Rumble?
She thinks she's eliminated AJ Lee and starts celebrating.
So that's every battle royal ever?
Yeah, I said it wasn't a great clue.
She was because the video came on next, which I sent the link to her on. She was literally the only person that I saw in this match. I should have guessed that, but I assumed they'd have thrown her out first in the spot.
no.
Oh, she's so annoying. Out you go, but apparently not.
So I watched the video
Yeah.
of the battle royal because there wasn't really any comments on the on the CM Punk AJ Lee boring backstage chat, basically.
Yeah.
And turns out there were some decent comments on here. Once again, these do not reflect the views of myself, Hamlet Sidgwick, Phil, our editor today, or anyone at World Culture Wrestling. Blasted Quinn starts us off. Do you want to try and complete this sentence? AJ Lee deserves. What does AJ Lee deserve?
Oh, Christ.
The Divas Championship.
Good guess. Not right.
A push.
AJ Lee deserves to be on Baywatch. What?
It's mild by the standards. That's promising. That's promising for the comments ahead.
Chester writes, yo, Vicky's thick with it, with 2 C's. Jason writes, if I was sort of overarching AJ Lee storyline, if I was one of the dudes that AJ flirted with, I'd have to make sure I was wearing... If If I was one of the dudes AJ flirted with, I'd have to make sure I was wearing a cup to hide my wood.
Just a constant erection at all times. That's not how it works, really, is
Zero
it?
control.
Yeah.
John was AJ's finish was called the Black Widow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He writes. He writes. I'm verbatim this, right? Oh, she can gladly put me in the Black Widow. Drool.
Oh, come on, Wilborn.
Ryder, sort of
Sure you would.
taking some
I married you.
taking some inspiration from WWE booking. Lovely first half here. He says, AJ, please come to my wedding. That's nice, isn't it?
It's kind.
As the bride. But AJ Lee, not everyone's cup of tea.
Oh, boy.
Big feet sheep. Right. Oof, about as sexy as a parsnip. So I don't know what that means. But the final comments.
Got a bit of Monty Python,
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Adder about that, hasn't
Yeah.
it? Funny words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That aren't actually funny.
They have banner in the past, or?
Don't think so.
Final comment comes from Adam. Not me.
So you claim.
Who simply writes, once again, not afraid to use Dadley Boyz. Phil, What Culture Wrestling? Adam writes, I'd suck the farts out of her ass on a daily basis.
Good for Adam. Good for Adam.
I like on a
Do we
daily...
need to do the... Yeah, you do what you want if you consent an adult. That's the crux.
I like the on a daily basis.
Daily basis.
Morning, dear.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You could be my neighbor.
Oh, just like your face is just like Kirby at the end. I've just ruined his favourite game.
So thanks to Noisy Nate for that one. If you want to suggest something short, crap wrestling related, you can do so on Apple Podcasts or leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it.
We need the proof.
And then email it to me on a daily basis. I don't know. Back to Monday Night Raw. Oh, actually, I want to talk briefly because there was CM Punk chants during the Nakamura-Tozawa match, and there was also cameras pointed at signs reading, "Look in my eyes, what do you see?" And Michael Cole used them as well to tease Rollins and Zayn.
Yeah, he sort of riffed off those signs, didn't he? Well, Sami Zayn's going to be looking in the eyes of the champion later on, and the Punk chat.
If this is a viral marketing campaign, it sucks.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't think it's happening, yeah. I know you do, and I love that.
It's definitely happening.
I love that for you. I love it for me if he's back, but I feel like they've invited a little bit of this, haven't invited the rest, and I was stuck in this hinterland. That's how I feel. Like I don't want to get excited. I don't feel like this is along the lines of those Mercedes Mene ones where Britt Baker said boss or whatever it was. And that was enough to go off. There has been enough to go off with the Punk thing, but they've not outwardly said it. So it's like there'll be arguments about whether you're even allowed to have a take on it or not, whether or not Survivor Series is impacted by it. It'd be the best. It'd be unbelievable if you showed up, but I don't think it's happening. I don't think I'm supposed to think it, but I just like to know either way. So it's a bit of a failure on those terms as a Punk fan.
It's happening.
As I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They proved themselves very capable of doing this sort of thing with the White Rabbit campaign. So I just don't believe it's happening. But I don't know what they're playing at either. Like, why even do a tiny little snarky bit of it?
It'd be better and it'd be worse, because it'd be better in the sense that you, like the White Rabbit, you kind of know where all of it's going, and it'd be worse in that it's WWE. So like, wait a minute, what was that mystery Chicago flag with CM Punk written on it doing flash?
Yes.
Like the subtlety would all be gone. So you'd like, but you'd know, and that would be at least a satisfying thing. Is like, it's actually happening, and I can't get either at the moment. It's
I
weird.
mean, they've already sold out. Have they sold out, which I assume for Chicago?
I think so, yeah.
I think
as
they've
good
had
as
to completely.
Oh, they had to open up more bits.
knock down the big screen or something to have the fans at the top, like the B shows setups, which look great anyway. So
We'll see. It's definitely happening there. Join us for the live stream.
well, Sid, you know what was at the All-State, don't you, with the smaller set? Friggin' SummerSlam 89. Imagine if they've got like the little bendy aisle tunnel.
No, it wasn't.
It was at the Roseman Horizon, as it was called then.
I thought it was in New Jersey.
Oh, was it the Meadowlands?
I think it was the Meadowlands.
You are correct, and I am wrong. I now need to think for several minutes over a show that we have an example of that took place at
Yes.
WrestleMania 13. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, same thing. Imagine if it was just a nice little neat,
Oh, yeah.
neat tidy aisle.
It's going to annoy me now. Google SummerSlam 1989.
You know, you're right. It's Meadowlands, definitely.
Meadowlands, okay, don't bother. Do not bother.
I feel stupid.
Meadowlands, yeah.
Yeah.
Just what I thought, to be fair, as well.
I recovered it, so it's fine in a way.
Tagline?
The Heat returns.
Ooh, feel the heat.
Feel the heat. I knew that.
When was the Heat returns? 90. So there was no Heat in 88. There was loads, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Shut up.
I was looking at I was looking at earlier. I was looking at Money in the Bank 2012. Did you know where Punk that Brian went on that card?
Oh, what was the? What were we doing with friggin' John Laurinaitis by then?
It was Big Show Cena.
They featured in the main event.
What, the ladder match?
Yeah. Can you name the other three competitors?
Oh, so it was interminable, this one. Was Randy in it?
Randy was not in it.
Sandow and Cody.
They were in the other one. Yeah, they
So
were.
Cena, Big Show.
Yeah.
Not Kane.
Yep.
Kane. So it's the Raw side.
Who won the friggin' briefcase the red briefcase in 2012 then?
Cena?
Yeah.
Of course.
Clobbers there.
Yeah.
Come on, I thought that was the...
I had a lot on. A lot on.
What did you have on in 1989?
No. Yeah, nothing. That was a good era.
It was good.
Two more. Both still going.
Of course they
One
are.
not in the Fed anymore, though. One got a win on tonight's show. Or last night's show.
Seth Rollins? No. 2012, dumbass.
It's not so sick, what? Or Logan Paul. Cody?
On Raw?
On Raw.
Kofi?
Nope.
Blanking. Yeah, I don't know.
The Miz and Chris Jericho.
I didn't think.
Two people in that
I
match.
didn't say Miz before. I kind of thought he didn't enter in one of them ladder matches after he won one.
The World Heavyweight Championship match, a slightly different lineup. Tyson Kidd, Tensai, Sin Cara, Santino Marella, Damian
Ziggler.
Sandow, Dolph Ziggler won, yeah, and Cody and Christian in that one.
Is the Cena one promoted as the All-Star one? Because
think
they'd all
so,
been
yeah.
WWE champion in it. They'd never really done Money in the Bank like that before.
Yeah.
Sheamus beat Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title, retained the World Heavyweight title.
Ugh.
Bang average stuff, that.
Primo and Epico versus the Primetime Players.
Ugh.
Then smack bang in the middle of the show, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. No DQ match for the WWE Championship. Then get the real stars out there. Ryback versus Kurt Hawkins and Tyler X in a handicap match.
So was AJ Lee the referee for that one?
Yeah.
She pushes them both through the table. Is that right? I'm remembering that correctly. As
The only thing I remember about that match, other than thinking it was awesome at the time, probably hasn't dated well with the sports entertainment love triangle trappings, was they built up this really cool spot where they both go for the kendo stick.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember from that match.
And then after the Ryback Classic, it was
And they were back then. His squashes were unbelievable.
Caitlin, Layla, and Tamina versus Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, and the person who just got a video package where we were on Monday Night Raw, Natalia. You see, let's segue back into the show. There's a big package as well, highlighting the four people who are fighting for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Rollins and Pierce are backstage, and Pierce is like, "You sure you can get you?" And Rollins says, "I'm born to run, boss." And then we got the four-way to determine the next challenger for Gunther. Nice message from Cole as well to Erica the Viking Raiders. Get well soon after C6 and C7 neck fusion surgery. Ivar, his partner, was in there, of course, Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and The Miz. And the first thing you mentioned to me when I got into work today was the spot with Ricochet. He's draped over the ropes. Reed tries to sort of use it as a springboard. That fires Ricochet off the ropes onto Ivar, who he hits with a Hurricane Rana.
Incredible.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ricochet would upload a video of like something he'd done in the gym that day. He'd be like, well, that's not humanly possible, and you've done it. And then he would go 15 boring, flipless minutes with AJ Styles, and you'd wonder what the frig we were doing here. This was perfect in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, use that man's incredible abilities for a spot like this where there's two big guys. How does the smaller guy use a situation that he's basically been put in by this flip? That's him. That's his counter game. Oh, Christ, I'm upside down in midair. It's okay. I'm Ricochet.
Yeah.
And that's unbelievable stuff. And the visual of him.
It's like Frank Grimes not being sarcastic.
Yeah. Just like if you watch it back, it's how natural that looks. That shouldn't occur.
No.
Like when you see a video like that, it's on one of them really dank Twitter accounts, like Freakish Humanity videos. It's like, why is this in the For You tab? Oh, it's because I must watch them quite a lot. The one it bends in a weird direction or something. It's amazing spot. Fundamentally, like pointless in the grand scheme of things, but should be celebrated in like end of year lists as just physically really stunning.
He tried a flip dive after that, got caught by Ivar and Reed, who just chucked him into the Miz. And then Ivar and Reed just run into each other and collide with crossbodies. We go to a break, come back. Reed's got Ivar set up for a superplex. Ricochet and Miz jump in. There's a big double powerbomb spot. Miz hits Reed with a springboard crossbody, hits Ivar with a tornado DDT. He's running wild. Gets a big pop from the crowd. Hits Ricochet with a code breaker and a spike DDT for 2. There's a "Let's Go Miz" chant, but
Seals.
Ricochet blocks the skull-crushing finale, hits a recoil, and Ivar has to break up that cover with a big splash. Reed gets Ivar on his shoulders, but Ivar slips out and hits a springboard forearm for 2. He nails Miz in the corner. Ricochet super kicks him, and Miz and Ricochet trade kicks. They're both down. Ivar and Reed both go up top. Ivar hits Ricochet with a moonsault. Reed misses the tsunami, though, and Reed gets stacked up by Miz whilst Ivar tries to pin Ricochet. Ricochet just gets his shoulder up, but Miz gets the 3 count on Reed. So there's a bit of confusion in there, but they check, and yes, the Miz got the victory. Ivar's still pissed off. He thought he'd won, so he beats the crap out of him and hits him with a moonsault afterwards.
Didn't need VAR this, did it?
Well,
It was obvious what happened. Why were they playing dumb?
it was badly executed.
Yeah.
I would say. Like, it was obvious what happened to us. We've watched enough wrestling to know what the crack is here. But I didn't think it came across well at all.
Commentators literally watch the monitor we do.
They
They don't watch it live. They don't look. Their job is to watch it on the monitor. And I know they'll have to sell it after it happens, I guess. Look, crap. Ricochet was great in this match.
Oh.
The Miz doing his biannual uncanny impression of someone who can wrestle pisses me off.
I knew that, yeah.
Because, like, one, I think I don't want to distill Logan Paul to moves, as we've covered extensively on this podcast. Like, he's really good at registering what he's about to do. Like, that little, oh, my God, you're not going to do 3 Amigos, are you? And his debut was just, oh, my God.
Oh my god.
But I think we've learned from Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, every celebrity who's ever done it, like, virtually everyone can do a move. Like, if you practice it enough, and he's been in WWE for about 18 years?
Good, yeah.
17, 18 years he's been training to do this. So when he does, like, the DDT, the likes of which you see in every single match, oh my God, he even did a tornado version while you're an athlete. He did a crossbody, oh my God, welcome to WCW Saturday Night in 1992. The only person who doesn't have a problem with that, the only person who, like, would be shocked at that is Bill Watts, right? Everyone else has seen it 1 million friggin' times. But the Miz has done a flying crossbody like he's a ham and egger on WCW Saturday Night. You know what I mean? Like, why am I meant to be impressed by this? One, big whoop. Like, big fucking deal, right? It's a fucking cross body block from the top rope. Why am I meant to be doing cartwheels over that? And it makes no sense realistically, because he was like the most cowardly man imaginable for 3 years. I will give them credit. They've been really trying to make sense of the Drew McIntyre turn and it being a really sort of, do I want to go all the way with this? Do I want to really become that bitter guy? And he's been agonizing over the decision internally to actually plow ahead with turning heel and just being a bad guy and taking shortcuts. So there is evidence elsewhere on this show that they can handle this sort of thing elegantly. The Miz wrestling like he's in Reseda because he's been challenged by Gunther, and Gunther has accurately said, "You're a joke and a coward." Well, I'll show you. I'll learn how to wrestle after, 18 years. It's a piss take. It sucks.
Springboard Miz.
Ivar should have won the match.
Springboard Miz is the new Hogan hits different in Japan. Watch some tapes. Isn't it? Like, they'll show that one gif of the loop in the Great Muta match where, like, Hogan does a couple of, like, arm drag sequences, drops an elbow. He's quite quick. Like, he did work a little bit harder in Japan because he friggin' had to. Like, but his work in America was different.
And
like,
he also went over and went, "Oh, piece of tin, that, innit?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Piece of trash. Like, but Miz doing a springboard is going to be that for this generation of fans. For the exact reason Sidgwick criticised it, I quite like Miz doing it. Like, Gunther's called him a sports entertainment bitch to his face, and he's like, "Well, no, I'm not. I can do this." He can't. He's a fraud. Miz is a fraud.
Why hasn't he done it all along?
Because he can't. He's faking trying to be a good wrestler.
But the other people had to sell for him.
Well, the move still hurt, but he hasn't got it in him. He can't do it on a Wednesday in Stoke. Like, he's just trying this week because Gunther's called him out on it, and he's going to lose. I told you this last week. He's going to get his arse handed to him by Gunther. You're going to have a great time with it. This is going to work. This is going to work.
That's not what the conversation was last week. The conversation was they're going to do what they did in this match.
Nah, man, like, you've got to...
Oh, my God.
No, the Miz is faking it. The Miz is trying to fake it.
People sold for his moves.
Because his moves hurt.
So what's fake about it?
Because he hasn't really got it all the time. He's just being pushed beyond his regular limits to try and show himself. I'm not reaching, bro.
That's going to be the story of the match, as I told you this time last week.
No, that element of it is going to be good. He's going to fail. We do not get what the other person doesn't get about what we're saying. I can feel it.
It's your fault.
I can feel it in my 2019 was. Well, you would say that. We're not f***ing. But, like, later on, after Survivor Series, when we're f***ing again, like, we'll come together and we'll mega powers handshake on this. It'll probably be at the Christmas party. It always is. Yes. But, like, yeah. I had no issue with this for the exact reason Sidge took massive issue with it.
Very plainly.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The Miz.
What are you... What are you talking about? My position is...
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
From last week when they first set up this confrontation, that it is going to be the ultimate challenge of Gunther's life when, en route to victory, his job is to sell convincingly for The Miz.
Okay.
And I said it's going to suck on that basis, and it's going to be pretty bleak to watch Gunther have to do that because Miz can't strike to save his life.
Okay.
So what are you talking about?
Gunther, for a start, is better than Ivar and better than Bronson Reed and better than Ricochet. So Miz can try his springboard stuff. And Miz can think, Gunther was wrong, actually, because I've got these moves and look what I did to them. And Gunther's like, you can't do that to me. Like, you cannot take me down with this flimsy Steve offense. It's all right. You may be better than I thought. Okay. I had you down as a 2. You are, in fact, a 6. I eat 6 for breakfast.
Yes, but Miz is going to be a 9 in the match, and Gunther's going to have to sell the potential near fall.
I think pro wrestling allows for, like, a moment of looking like a 9 before you're reminded you're a 2.
Okay,
that's the
maybe.
magic, isn't it? Like, every now and then somebody, like the one lucky shot, the whatever, like, that's part of the fun. And it'll be part of the fun there, and then
he's got to do the it kicks.
That could be the stretch.
Yeah,
that could be the stretch. I will concede the it kicks could be a stretch too far if Gunther is like there kneeling down, just completely exposed. I would like him to stand up off them and just chop him to the floor.
Yes,
that is a good way to use the it kicks. If he is just earnestly selling the it kicks, we might have a problem.
I think we're going to have a problem. Simon's got a problem.
So Gable and Otis are giving Tozawa some words of encouragement after he got his ass handed. I suppose there was an element of that in the Tozawa-Nakamura match. Yeah. I think Tozawa got a near fall in there and then just got his head taken off the Kinshasa.
That's a different conversation completely because you both reminded me, apparently he's like some super worker that wants the Heritage Cup on Tuesdays but a dumbass on Mondays. Yeah. So
I was going to say, actually, he's the best show. We'll talk about that later. Gable's going to be there.
Oh my God.
It's the best show.
Why?
To support him.
All right, cool.
And Maxine Dupri is there. She's excited for the Battle Royal, and he's like, try and stick on people, fighting people your own size. Don't follow Tozawa's lead. And she completely ignored that later on. Earlier on in the day...
Not a very good academy, is it?
Oh, Jesus Christ, we're going to get Metaphor Alpha Academy, and that's to build up to Alpha Academy meeting Chase U for the first time. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Well, wait till the preview.
Sorry, I got too excited.
Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile officially signed contracts for Monday Night Raw.
Damp script, that wasn't it?
Pierce is happy. They did what we said. They there was a contract battle, and Pierce said he was happy that they opted for them over
Wasn't
SmackDown.
exactly the Battle of the Bastards, wasn't it? Didn't last very long. Oh, Nick Aldis lost.
You booked us. Okay, fair enough. And Niles in the Battle Royal as well. And then here comes Gargano and Ciampa, and they thought, hey, welcome to the show. How about we have a bare knuckle fight then? And then we got the Creed Brothers versus DIY.
Skip. It's just heatless and lifeless and nowhere near good enough.
I was just worried throughout this because I was like, you can't beat Creed Brothers. You shouldn't beat DIY. And then they did a shenanigan finish.
God, they're feuding with Imperium. What was going to happen, Wilborn?
Bad matchmaking. Bad matchmaking killed this. This wasn't the night for DIY to lose like this. It wasn't, especially wasn't the way for the Creeds to win like this. Like a poor follow-up. Even the Creed spots look great.
Made Julius looked strong. He kicked out of a...
Well, the action,
Yeah.
divorced from its context, was obviously not going to be bad remotely.
They're too fun to look at, the Creeds. But that
Do the recap, and then I'll have a bitch.
Ciampa gets a hot tag after a break, double clothesline. They double team Brutus. He fights back, hits Gargano with a Samoan drop. It's a standing moonsault. Julius hits a standing shooting star press, but Ciampa has to come in and break it up. Gargano hits Julius with a reverse Hurricane Rana. Ciampa follows with a running knee. Hits Brutus with the Willow's Bell. Hits Julius with the fairy tale ending, but he kicks out. They set up for their meet in the middle finisher. Brutus pulls Ciampa to the outside. Ludwig Kaiser, because the referee's distracted with all that, kicks Gargano with the ref's back turned, and the Creed Brothers hit that awesome Brutus Ball finish for the 1-2-3.
What a complete come down from last week this was. Like you've got two babyface teams, right? One struggling pretty badly at this point to get over and to be taken seriously. The other literally just arrived on the scene as well as it went. And check out last week's pod. We were doing cartwheels for that. It's not like proper overnight sensation. Like a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about it, but you know, it's a different audience to get over in front of week after week after week.
Should be a good thing, right? You're supposed to grow in front of that audience.
Oh, yeah,
as well,
yeah. I mean,
Don't
well-
give the whole, you know.
Yeah, I guess, but like at the same time, I was expecting something. They got nothing. This match was so heatless. It's obviously was well wrestled, but you can't really say it was well worked.
No, I would agree. Spots look nice. The Creed spots do look nice. Is this like Triple H booking DIY into
You
a
would have
heel
split.
turn here?
You're going to split crowds on babyface matches to begin with, but neither team's really over yet. A stupid idea.
Is he booking DIY into a heel turn here because they are losers? Fans back winners, and you've been given no reason to back these two. Like, I know they're going to probably win the Imperium feud, but
I don't know if it's like a soft reboot to our Gargano used to like get over and defeat. And
yeah, Ciampa's questioning all over again.
Yeah.
Like, why do I keep sticking with this guy? It's a bold strategy.
The whole thing is, can Gargano really win that big one?
Yeah.
He didn't against Almas and all the rest of it. Like, no one cares enough about him in the first place to sort of reboot this arc.
He does love retelling his NXT stories the way he would have liked on them. It looks like we're going to go down that route with Bayley, doesn't it?
See you in 5 years then.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that on the road to Sami Zayn fight for the title, they aired a clip of him losing to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. Jey Uso's involvement in all that, and then Jey walks in, says he felt bad about how that went down. Zayn's like, forget about all that, and Jey sort of hypes him up, says, I'm looking forward to seeing you become the new world champion. And we're informed that Jey and Cody have got another title shot against the Judgment Day next week.
Love the good guys, man. There's some good guys on the show at the moment. I like them. I like that they're all mates. Especially now Kevin Owens has been taken away as well. I like that.
Becky Lynch is getting interviewed backstage about the Battle Royal. She's ready to fight the entire locker room if that means getting a title shot against Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series. And then Nia Jax walks in and says, well, no one's going to throw me over the top. I'm going to win, and that's going to make me happier than when I broke your face. And Becky's like, I'm funny that because I then main evented WrestleMania off the back of that, and you got fired. Welcome back.
Yeah. I don't know. People do care about that. That Becky Lynch moment was incredible, but the payoff where she just pushed her into that stack of rubbish that time, was it a TLC? Take my name out your mouth. I sort of felt enough, didn't it? I wasn't then pining for the one big match. Like, good. She got what she deserved for that.
Chelsea Green and Piper never getting interviewed by Byron Saxton. And Green says, well, a load of people in this match don't even deserve to be in there. Here comes Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Yeah, because she says, people already lost at bloody Crown Jewel. And Baszler's like, I'm going to kill you first. And, I'm going to kill whoever I see first, and I hope it's you. And Chelsea Green goes, get him, partner. And Piper Niven goes, well, it's everyone for themselves. See you later. Chelsea Green's like, oh, bollocks. And then they all come out for the Battle Royal. But as Becky Lynch is making her entrance, she gets laid out by Xia Li, that devastating kick that KO'd Candice LeRae last week. And then I like the fact that Xia Li tried to get in, and Pierce like, where do you think you're going? You're not in this match, and Becky Lynch has been concussed. She's not in the match either. Good way to write her out, I thought.
Good way to write her out, and again, like a relatively strong start for Xia Li.
Yeah.
Like she will probably lose this Becky Lynch program, but they've got the character over enough that she's like a deadly striker. She can take out.
I would say point across.
Point across.
Not got over.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you know who this character is. You know what she's got in her arsenal. Becky, you suppose think Becky Lynch is in trouble. I'll say this: I don't really buy that Xia Li beats her, and all of a sudden she's on the way to win the title.
She's got electric in her fingers, so.
But it's one of several decent diversions for Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I feel like Lynch Rhea is the WrestleMania match, and for years, we could see that maybe in November, and it being Vince McMahon was just like, I'm not going to do anything about that. We're just like, just tough, just wait for it. Like Triple H at least thinks there's got to be a realistic diversion.
He hadn't by the end come up with a bloody idea yet, had Vince.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
I don't hate this. What you're doing is you're allowing some other underutilized members of the roster some shine, whether it's working well or not. Like the Tegan Nox thing did not work at all. But Valkyria,
Tiffany Stratton,
like it is working more often than it isn't. And while you're doing this and developing your narrative ecosystem, I'm sorry, Rhea in a couple of months' time can then say, yeah, you might have won the Royal Rumble or whatever, but look what I've been doing. Total domination. And mammy. And you've been pushed to the limit by rookies.
Well, Becky's story is like the real quiz, isn't it? And that's nice. It's like, she's been fighting back.
Very calls you mammy as your kid. Don't mention my kid.
It's all very productive, this.
Yeah.
And bold, future forward. Very strictly speaking, it's as if I'm, it's as if my heart's pounding in my chest and nothing. But it's all very future forward and clever and bold.
It's not hot shotting. It's hot plotting.
So we had the Battle Royal. Nikki Cross is in that orgasmic trance in the middle of the ring.
Is she orgasmic? Why is it orgasmic? Bubba Ray?
No, that's me, mate. They're booking it.
Did you get a sense of orgasmic bliss?
All right.
That's the real question. So why was she just staring still?
What? I don't know what this. She was in a table the other week.
She is in a trance, yeah. I didn't get the orgasmic element of it, but she's.
Sorry, I just automatically write orgasmic trance.
Yeah, that's
right.
fair.
Trance. All right, orgasmic trance. Just how it does.
Do you ever get into orgasmic trances?
I try to on a regular basis, if I'm honest, mate.
Spent his teenage years just doing nothing but that.
What do me and Ray Parker Jr. I think.
Just go on.
Raquel and Nia come together, and Nikki just doesn't move, and they just chuck her out of the ring, and then she just stood there for a bit, and then she walked around because then she was on hard cam, so she had to walk around to commentary for a bit and stood there. And I hate it.
I hate it so much. What are they trying to do?
Who cares?
I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't give a toss about this.
There is somebody like in a trance that these people work with. It's like, so imagine if there was somebody downstairs in the office. Is Ewan? What culture gaming? All right. Well, he's sort of just been stood there staring at me for 2 hours. We should call her like the hospital, maybe the police.
Didn't he used to be a superhero as well for a bit?
Yeah. No, I'm just going to go for lunch. Just leave him there. See if he's still staring when I come back.
Yeah.
And he is.
Like,
yeah, that's a point. How did she get to the arena?
Yep. All of it.
Yeah.
She gets eliminated over the top rope, and then the trance is somehow broken, so she can hold the ropes and post herself. And then the trance is back. The trance can work. Trance can go.
Trance has been booked in NXT for sure.
Trance has been doing drills at the Performance Centre. Trance, it knows where the hard camera is.
That sucks.
Yeah, bad.
Maxine Dupree goes after Niven, and Tegan Nox actually helps her, and they do manage to eliminate Piper Niven, but as Dupree celebrates, gets eliminated by Nia Jax. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, they love to have fun, and they love to try and eliminate people as well, but Ivy Nile eliminates both of them, kicked Carter out of the ring and press slams Katana onto her. Chelsea Green tries to eliminate Raquel Rodriguez. It doesn't work. Green slaps her, so Rodriguez just chucks her out. Indy Hartwell misses a big boot. Natalya eliminates her, and then Niall kicks Natalya off the apron. Tegan Nox gets eliminated by Nia Jax, shoving her off the top rope. Ivy now tries to get Nia Jax on her shoulders. Jax blocks it. And then Rodriguez, Starks, and Baszler boot Nia Jax, and they all team up to eliminate her. But before she leaves, she yanks Ivy Nile off the apron. So the final two are Baszler and Zoe Stark. They teamed up to eliminate Rodriguez, I should say that, and they battle on the apron. Baszler puts in the Kirifuda clutch and then realizes, wait a second, if she passes out here, I'm going to hit the floor first. So she lets go, and Stark hits kicks and a DDT. Baszler falls out of the ring. Zoe Stark wins. She will face Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series.
There is a rich-ish history of women's battle royals in NXT, and I use that in both the genuine complimentary and also AEW were taking the piss terms of when there's a lot of characters that you're not doing much with. You throw them all in there, and it's like, well, we've got such a busy division. So it's a bit shortcutty here. But this was how you book a battle royal. Tell a couple of little stories, get a couple of characters over. You've got the Xylee and Becky Lynch thing. You've you're not protected, but nobody's getting pinned in terms of Piper Niven and Nia Jax as the constant looming threats that Rhea Ripley should be worried about. Meanwhile, Ivy Nile has a great start. Yeah. Like, in terms of her, kind of what they did for the Creeds last week, they did for her in how, she doesn't have to win, but it could have almost been her. She's clearly tough enough and she'll get there. And like a strong winner that looks believable in Zoe Stark in how she kind of like worked around where Shayna Baszler tactically was going wrong. Like, I wasn't doing backflips, but again, to echo Cedric word, this was quite effective, I thought.
I thought it was totally useless outside of the finish. Totally useless outside of the finish.
I
telegraphed eliminations, week. Like, it has to be, for a battle royal, the first stage is to be noticeably bad. Man, you're not meant to notice. You know what I mean? Like, you're not. Useless.
I immediately, I forgot as it happened, and then I thought, actually, that's a really nice, clever bit of booking in terms of the fact that Rhea Ripley sold that Z360 like death at the premium live event, and then obviously she was like, had the thing backstage with her afterwards. I kind of had you beat. She was like, well,
I'm into the match. I'm into the direction.
Yeah. It's the feud, isn't it? If she hits her with the finisher, she's beat, and nobody's had Rhea like that. So.
The best version of that match is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. Right, main event time. It was Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Who versus Sami Zayn?
Seth Rollins. Early on, Sami Zayn has the opportunity to target the kinesio tape, isn't it? Covered back of Seth Rollins, but he just says, kind of guy.
Do you Michael Cole explaining away 10 years of bad selling in the Crown Jewel commentary? Seth told me backstage that his adrenaline is like nobody else's, and when he gets pumping, he just doesn't feel pain. It's like, that does sort of explain why you've just given up selling body parts the last 10 years.
Great as The Undertaker in 1990.
Bad knees, bad shoulders, bad backs.
Fine.
Oh, good.
Finish time now. So we go to a break, come back. Zayn hits Rollins with a moonsault off the barricade. Rollins fires back up and hammers away at Zayn and hits a suicide dive, but Zayn comes back with a great flip dive. Sling blade from Rollins, forearms. Zayn tries to cut him off with a haluva kick, but Rollins avoids it and hits a nice springboard senton and a lion salt for two. They battle on the apron, and Zayn hits Rollins with a back body drop on the apron, with the injured back, of course. Go to a break, come back. Rollins fights back, buckle bomb. Zayn counters the stomp, though, into a blue thunder bomb for a nice near fall. I nibbled a little bit on that. Didn't think it was going to be the title change, but obviously
he won on Saturday with it, didn't he, as well? So they drop that in every now and then.
I like the fact that they've utilised that a little bit more, because for a while it was like...
I don't nibble as well.
Yeah. Zayn hits an exploder into the corner. Rollins fires back with a super kick and a pedigree for two. This is awesome. Chants from the crowd, quite rightly. Rollins goes with a stomp. Zayn counters that into the lion tamer, though. Transitions it into the Boston Crab. Target in the back. Could Rollins tap out? And Rollins in the clutch reverses into a roll-up and gets the 1-2-3 to retain. Zayn's devastated afterwards. Rollins is selling his back. And they shake hands. Zayn, good guy that he is, raises Rollins' hands in victory before leaving. Here comes Priest, Balor, Dom, and McDonough to attack Zayn, though. Rollins hits a suicide dive, but the numbers game obviously catches up to them. Judgment Day are in control. Jey Uso comes out to a huge pop, super kicks Dom, and McDonough spears Balor. But Priest comes back and boots Jey. Cody Rhodes comes out to even the odds, and all the officials have to come out and separate things. Whilst Postman Pierce gets on the mic and says, I'm tired of the games. If you want to play games, you can. In War Games, big brawl. Rhodes jumps onto a big pile of people on the outside and stands tall to close out the show. War Games confirmed.
These brawls, right?
Are great, aren't they?
Well, Yes and no.
I do wish I was in the building for one of them because it's hard.
It's pretty hard, right? You know what these brawls are?
What?
It's like the pint you don't need, but think, oh, go on, I'll have one more.
Yeah. I've never met a pint I didn't need.
Thing is, I do. Like, I know my limits very much. And, like, these are from my youthful days. The pint where it's like, more. Go on then, I'll have a blue wicked. I'll have a blue.
Yeah.
Or I need something in my hand, so I'll have like a
God.
treble or whatever. And not a pint. Too many pints. It's too it makes us feel too bloated. It's like I'm thoroughly done with this. I do not need it. I've had more than enough. But when it gets a little bit hot, these brawls, and like the people in the audience are, throwing babies in the air and all the rest of it. It's got, right, okay, I'm kind of into it. I thought the match was really strong.
Yeah.
I thought the match was really strong. I thought it was way, way more dramatic than it had any right to be. It is an impromptu match between two baby faces. You know there's going to be something post or match or interference-wise, and yet that struggle at the end and that urgent, they just really sold it to me like they each were kind of desperate to win. I thought it was really well done, really well timed, really well paced, really urgent, really dramatic. I was a big fan of this match. I thought this was, Seth has his 3.5-star specials. This week he's kind of, it's the enigma that is Seth Rollins. How can someone so boring be so difficult to talk about and to nail down? But how good is he? Well, he's pretty damn good this week.
Yeah.
He is pretty damn great at his job this week.
In terms of a 3.5-star special, it was Joe Punk 3.5 stars rather than the usual
Yes.
3.5 stars.
Absolutely. Yeah, this match and the follow-up brawl and everything, like there was an early AEW flavor to this when like some of the wrestlers that had like really like grinded on the indies or had worked outside of the mainstream, it's like, bloody hell, SCU doing all the best moves on telly. Never thought I'd see the day. Like this was Seth and Sammy working through like all their sort of best bits. A lot of the stuff that you do see like wrapped into these WWE matches, but they've got stuff extra. Like if you think about the apron bomb and like Seth doesn't bust like
The Sammy backflip.
Yeah, they don't bust out all the flips all the time, but they've always had them in them. And it's like, he's taking a bloody title match on the big show. You wouldn't have seen that coming. And like they're just doing it. And then you have this big match. You're like, what a nice warm feeling this is. And then you get a hot brawl. That's the right now feature. Like the Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes pops. Again, like it's proof of concept when you hear those reactions. It was, again, like to use the AEW comparison, there were times when I was just like, well, I can't fight that Cody's the biggest frigging face in wrestling, whether I like it or not, because I listen to those reactions. And it's just, this just felt nice. And again, I think a lot of that is to do with the way they built to this match in the opener. You weren't left questioning the actual like personas of the people involved, and that really helps too.
What transformation as well in terms of that little toy belt, the secondary belt. It's still obviously not as on a par with Roman's belt, but like when Sammy was like, I'm going to win the world title, I was like, yes, you are. You've actually might have a chance at that one as well.
They kind of, with little things like that, they insidiously get you. Yeah, it's happened before. It will happen again. To be fair, the Universal, I never really took it seriously. It had that like horrible sort of launch.
Jam belt.
People call it a curse. Maybe a curse, but also terrible booking as well. This is better. I still don't treat it like I used to treat the old Winged Eagle.
It's the remember when it came to WrestleMania 21 and it was like, Christ, you somehow pushed two babyfaces at the same time in this cursed era and everybody's going to buy the show. I remember going in that thinking, well, Triple H has done it. Like that Batista match has to go on last. This is the big. There will come a day when Roman's not champion, it might be a Cody show, whatever, where this belt will headline instead, and you'll think, oh yeah, they've done it. They've got 2 world titles. The cack-handed friggers. Don't know how they've done it, but they've done it.
Well, let us know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw in the comment section or on X at What Culture WWE. Watch, they can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilburn. Follow our producer for the week, Phil My Chambers, on Twitter. You can follow us all at What Culture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Once again, thanks to Noisy Nate for this week's 5-star review. But for now, this has been the Raw review. My thanks to the Dadley Boyz. I'm a Dadley Boy as well. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.